So I've had a couple of messages now and a couple of comments asking why did she leave me, right? And I'm going to try and put it together in a relatively basic way, but adding context at the same time. So back in 2012, that's when we were married, but we lived together a couple of years before that as well. In 2018, she decided to sell her flat in which we were living, and wanted to move to Wales, where she was originally from. I was dead against the idea, but I mean, I just had to accept it. That's what she was doing. That's what happened, and yeah, there we are. So the flat went for sale in the July of 2018. On September the 2nd, which is my birthday, was the day she left Stevenage forever. Back in that point, we didn't speak again for a couple of months. I can't remember exactly what happened, but anyway, we didn't talk for a couple of months. But then we got back in touch with each other, and all was well. I was planning on moving down to Wales, and you know, all was okay, all as well as okay as can be. Bear in mind, when she gave up the flat, I moved into a tiny little camper van, and I mean real small. It was a Peugeot Bipper, a real micro camper, and I spent some time in there. And through the winter months, I'd park the van in the garage to add a little bit of warmth, and yeah, and that's the way I lived my life for a while, and until I upgraded to a bigger van, and then a bigger van, blah blah blah. Anyway, but that's besides the point. I was backwards and forwards to Wales, sort of around once a month, and then it sort of got, I don't know, maybe a couple of months, but for a longer period of time. And I learnt to love Wales. Everywhere that we went together, the landscapes and bits and pieces were just inspiring. I think it was probably one of the best decisions she'd ever made. You know, she needed to be near her family again, and I'd fallen in love with Wales and started to really look forward to the idea of being there permanently. Anyway, this way of life went on for some time. I was still living in my vans, and my son was also putting me up as well for a few nights of the week. So it was working, but I started to miss her a lot, you know, and I was missing out on opportunities. And she was doing things with other people, with her friends and family, quite rightly so, as any normal person would. But I got insanely jealous over that fact, you know. It should have been me. It should have been me that was spending time exploring with her and doing this, that and the other. But because of my time with her was limited, it used to drive me insane. It used to really bother me. When I used to drive to Wales for a week or so, or whatever it was, our time was always cut short as well, because there was always things to do. She has got a disabled mum that she needed to go see every single day, and we had to take the dogs out for a walk every single day. And one of her children lived with her, you know, and but we never got any time alone. And the time that I was with her just used to pass so quickly. We never got anything done, and it just used to go, and I got incredibly upset and jealous because I never got any of that quality time, which I absolutely craved for. I understand that we all have things in life that we've got to deal with, but I truly become upset that we never had nights on our own, or holidays or anything like that. It just become unbearable. Anyway, this went on for some time, and it started to get worse until I think it pushed her over the edge. I mean, my jealousy because of that pushed her over the edge, and I think that's what, or I'm almost certain that's what ended our relationship. And it is absolutely 100%, without any shadow of a doubt in my mind, all of my fault. I shouldn't have been this way. I shouldn't have been so pushy. I shouldn't have listed these problems. I should have tried talking about it, but I think everything that happened, I just pushed her away. It breaks my heart to think about it. If I could turn back the clocks, I would do things differently. I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but all of this that has happened is down to me. But let me reassure you again, because of the comments, there was never any cheating or abuse or anything like that. I'm not that way inclined, and nor was she. It was purely the jealousy that other people were getting to spend a lot of time with her and I didn't, and it just drove me mad. And when you were living the sort of life that I was, in between the van and my sons, and spending a majority of time on your own, it just plays on your mind, you know. But I didn't mean to cause any upset. I was just being brutally honest about how I was feeling and what it was doing to me. And I shouldn't have done it. I should have respected her wishes to do everything that she needed to do and enjoy her life to the best of her ability. But instead, I was making her feel guilty. And that's what done it. That's what's pushed her over the edge. And me feeling that way has now caused me to lose everything. You know, be stripped of my future. This is the truth, you know. This is the God's honest truth. There was nothing else. It breaks my heart even to think about it and to talk about it, but there's nothing I can do about it now. I mean, if any of you guys are watching this that are still together with your partner and you're thinking the way that I am, then you just have to let it go. Otherwise, you could lose that person that you love, and I don't think there's anything else out there that will cause you that amount of pain. It's just, I'm gutted for what I did. I'm gutted. I wish there was a magic button that I could whiz back a few years in the past and undo the mess that I'd made and just kept my mouth shut about how I was feeling. But unfortunately, I know that's it's just a miracle that's never going to happen, isn't it? So yeah, that's where we are. I made the mistake, and because of those mistakes, I pushed her away, and I've lost everything. So that's where we are. That's what I did, and that's why she's divorcing me.